How's it going, everybody? It's Dustin here, and today we got some work to do on the old 78. So starting this week, I'm gonna be driving an hour and a half each direction and hauling sweet corn. So we go to a farm we've been doing business with for 10 years, 12 years, and we go buy sweet corn from them and we bring it back here and we sell it. So it's about a 3-hour drive round trip. So this would be the first time I've ever taken the dump truck down there, but I can hold a heck of a lot more corn in this truck. So hopefully I won't have to make as many trips. So, but first things first, I've got a couple issues. I've got a hard crank I got to get fixed, and I need to add a little bit of a modern feature to the interior of the truck that is really going to be a big deal for me. You're not going to think it's probably a very big deal, but you drive a truck long enough without one of these, it's a big deal. So first off, let's start with that hard crank. So a couple years ago, probably a year ago, I built a new positive battery cable from here to the solenoid because the old one was crapped out. So now the ground is all janky. So when it gets hot, it loses connection and don't want to start. So I'm gonna pull this crappy battery cable off. I'm gonna go get some solder ends and we'll solder a new battery cable in. I'll probably just build a whole new cable, do it at a 2-aught, especially being the ground. I'm a fan of a good ground. So we'll probably do some 2-aught cable, solder the ends on, and should take care of our hard start. So let's see where this one goes. Should go to the block somewhere. Yeah, goes to the block down there. So I'll grab some wrenches. We'll get this pulled off. These battery cables are junk, horrible. Those clamps, those are horrible, horrible. I get it, sometimes you're in a pinch and you got to do it, but they are not permanent by any stretch compared to solder, anyway, in my opinion. Or crimp. If you got a way to crimp them, that works good too. I've got a crimper too, but I like to solder them. It seems to work better for me. Well, we're gonna start. We'll take it off the battery first, and we'll crawl under there and get it off the block. Yeah, look at that, burn all the way through. I mean, there ain't nothing holding that together. So these things are just cheesy. Cheesy. They'll get you out of a bind, but here's the other end of it right here. (9/16). So when we get the new cable, we'll clean that all up where it'll make contact. It's awful grimy right now. Okay, got her off there. So, what is this, 4-aught? Yeah, it's 4-aught cable. It's Taylor cable. It's good cable. Just crappy end on it. So while I'm doing it though, I'll just get a new cable, upgrade it to 2-aught, I shouldn't ever have any other problems again. Well, I'm gonna see what I've got for supplies before I run to town. Looks like I'm gonna need 3 feet of cable. Got a mess. I can't let y'all see the part sitting over there. That's for another project. I think you guys be excited about. Okay. Let's see here. I've got a 2-watt negative cable. Yep. Negative 2-watt. And 2-watt 3/8 stud. Right there. So I just need, because I don't think this, I'd like to get some new cable, but I can make this work. That'll be awful loose. Okay, so got the end. That's 2 gauge, not 2-watt. I didn't think that looked right. And 2-watt, that's a 1/2 inch. 2-watt 3/8. Yeah. Good deal. Well, we'll run to town, grab us a 3-foot piece. 3-foot piece of 2-watt battery cable, and that thing will be fixed up for good. Okay, we made it back from the store. We got 3 feet of 2-watt cable here. We got our ends. So kind of eyeball this, see how deep it's going to go in the copper or in the end, and we'll cut that much off of the insulation. Okay, we made it back from the store. We got 3 feet of 2-watt cable here. We got our ends. So kind of eyeball this, see how deep it's going to go in the copper or in the end, and we'll cut that much off of the insulation. I like the yellow matte gas. It gets a lot hotter, but this should. Okay. Keep that hot, and we will slip piddled around and let it get cold, so we gotta heat it up. This is gonna take a little while. There we go. There we go. So let that cool down. Same thing over here. Hopefully this time I won't piddle around and get it in there. I forgot to make sure it was going to go in there, is why that happened. Whenever they cut the cable off, it squished the end. So we'll make sure it fits before we start. Okay. That's what I forgot to do a while ago. There we go. That's how it should have worked the first time. Like I said, I piddled around, let the heat get off of it as I was putting it in there, then it got cold and took a little while. We got there though. So the way I finish these off is I'll give them a few reps of electrical tape just to keep corrosion from building in the exposed part. But if you do it right, like I did this one, and you cut the insulation back the right amount, it should match up with, you should have just enough copper to reach the bottom and enough insulation to reach the fitting. Then you ain't got really too much to worry about there, but I still go ahead and give it a few reps. Now we have one heck of a ground cable. Soldered ends, all copper, 2-aught copper wire. We've got all the grounding we'll ever need. Okay, we got the battery cable on there. We got it tight. It's ran in a good spot. It ain't gonna rub on nothing. Might see if I can throw a zip tie up there somewhere, but otherwise in good shape. I don't know what kind of gobbled up garbage this battery hold down is, but we'll get to that one day too. All right, well, let's see if it cranks a little better. Much better, much better. Of course, the real proof in the pudding will be when it gets good and hot, after I ran it for an hour or so. But definitely, there's definitely way better. So we got our starting issue taken care of. So as I was editing this video with the upgrade that we did on the interior, the video is going to run pretty long, so we're going to call that a video right there. We got the slow hard crank taken care of. I forgot to explain it in the video, but when that ground cable got loose inside that clamp, it was causing heat because it was a loose connection, and that heat was melting the lead in that clamp and eventually made it worse to the point it wouldn't hardly start. So that's where there was a little spot of lead on top of the battery, and it's because that was getting so hot it was melting that lead. So like I said, those clamps just don't hold tight, as far as what I've come across. I'm not saying that you can't have good luck with them for 20 years, but if you can solder something, it's always going to be better. Anyway, we're going to call that a video right there. And on the next one, we'll get on the interior and do that modern upgrade. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll catch you on the next video.